The story starts with a high school girl, Momo Ayase, fighting with her jerk boyfriend at the school gate. Her boyfriend demands money from Momo, or he won't take her on today's date. But he would let it slide if she let him do that with her, and of course, she had to pay for the love hotel. Momo, on the other hand, was annoyed by all the rubbish talk and tried to kick his face, but her jerk boyfriend managed to block her kick with his hand and hit her with a kick, causing Momo to fall to the ground. He was annoyed with her for being broke and not putting out, so he decides to finally break up with her. Momo kept calling him names while he walked away in Doflamingo style. The scene shifts to the classroom, and we see Momo lying on her desk while her friends are discussing seafood. Momo asks them to comfort her, as he was her first boyfriend. Her friend asks her, what was so good about him anyway? Momo told her that he looked like Ken Takakura. It turns out that Momo likes muscular guys like Ken Takakura, and both her friends react at the same time. Dudes like that are extinct. After not even getting sympathy over her first breakup, Momo walks down the corridor asking for someone to comfort her in this cruel world. Suddenly, she looks at a boy with round glasses sitting in the corner of his class. He was being bullied by his classmates, who were throwing paper balls at him. Momo decides to sit with him, and as soon as she sits beside him, the bullies stop throwing paper balls at him. She asks him, "What are you reading there?" and takes the magazine from his hands. She takes a look at the magazine and then at bullies. She then walks out of the class thinking, do only scums live in this world? She starts her Doflamingo walk, thinking about where she can relieve her stress, but she hears her name from the background. It's the same boy with the round glasses. He says, "I know you're in love." He continues, "Someone like Miss Ayase talking to me? That's gotta be the only reason." She tells him that he has misunderstood her and to forget whatever happened back in class. But before she could finish, he shows her the magazine he was reading, stating, "The president has already gone to Mars. What is the entirety of Project Pegasus?" He says, "You're a fan of the occult?" Momo replies, "I don't believe in UFOs, aliens, or stuff like that." She asks, "Can I go now?" But he kept annoying her with articles from the occult magazine about aliens and space, causing Momo to get super angry and shout at him, "I just got dumped, so I don't want any of this." She kept shouting, saying, "You don't have any friends because you keep pushing stuff on people," which is really annoying, and walks away. But she quickly realized her mistake and came back to him, picked up his magazine, and while giving it back to him, she says, "I don't believe in aliens, but I believe in ghosts." Suddenly, he starts laughing and says, "There's no such thing as ghosts?" Momo, annoyed by him making fun of her, says, "I matched the conversation topic to yours, but you outright deny that?" Meanwhile, he kept laughing and suddenly, they both started fighting over what is real, ghosts or aliens. In the end, they make a deal to have a contest, and whoever loses will serve the other as a gopher. Later that night, Momo goes to Nagi General Hospital, which is famous for alien activities, UFOs, and alien abductions. Meanwhile, the boy is at an abandoned tunnel, which is famous for being haunted by the ghost of Turbo Granny. Momo walks into the hospital while talking to the boy, whom she named as a cult boy on her phone, and suddenly, we see a shadow moving behind her, but she hasn't noticed it yet. Meanwhile, at the tunnel, he enters, asking Momo if she has ever seen a ghost, to which Momo replies no, but her grandma was a spiritual medium, and she loves her a lot since she doesn't have her parents. She tells him not to be sad, as her family was really weird, and she had to perform a weird good luck ritual before stepping outside when she was a kid. She was always forced to do it while going to school by her grandma, which led to other kids making fun of her. Even the boy she liked made fun of her, which made her really sad, and she started hating her grandma. Since then, she stopped talking to her grandma until recently. She tells him that she gets pissed when someone else makes fun of her family, and that's when she realized that she wasn't angry because the boy she liked didn't like her. She hated the fact that the boy she liked made fun of her grandma. In reality, she loved her grandma and even her job because it felt special. She has faith in her grandma, which is why she believes in ghosts. She asks him, "Why do you believe in aliens?" To which he replies that it doesn't even matter. Momo is surprised that he doesn't have any reasons. Suddenly, he sees bloody footprints leading toward him, and as he turns around, there's an old granny's ghost standing in front of him, and her eyes suddenly start glowing. She says, "I'll let you suckle my melons, so let me eat your banana." He starts running away without a second thought, shouting, "Ghost?" Meanwhile, Momo, still on the phone, tells him not to run and keeps shouting at him to stop, warning him that he would be cursed if the granny outran him and he lost a race against Turbo Granny. Suddenly, the tunnel seemed to stretch indefinitely, and the granny quickly came close to him, causing the phone call to disconnect. Momo decides to head there at once, but suddenly, the moonlight coming from the windows starts disappearing, and we see three identical men standing in front of Momo. As she starts to run away from them, they quickly catch her and tear off her clothes. In the next scene, Momo opens her eyes and finds herself tied to a seat in her undergarments, surrounded by all three strange men. They introduce themselves as Serpoians from the planet Serpo. Momo is surprised that aliens are real. They tell Momo that they are friendly people and that there are only males on their planet, and they reproduce by cloning. Momo angrily shouts at them, "Friendly guys don't strip girls naked." The aliens tell her they've taken proper care of her belongings, and we see her clothes torn into pieces and her bag lying on the floor. They tell her that they've lost their reproductive functions due to cloning, and thus they want to regain them. One of them tells her they want her banana and then takes out his robotic banana, telling her that after the process, they will take her reproductive organs for research purposes. Momo starts shouting that she has saved herself for Ken Takakura. Suddenly, the aliens use telekinesis to calm her down and arouse her, and just as the aliens are about to start their research, her phone starts ringing. One of the aliens picks up the phone, and suddenly, a leg comes out of the phone, kicking the alien in the face. The creepy, cursed granny emerges from the phone and directly attacks the alien's banana, trying to gobble the whole thing at once. Then we see it is none other than the occult boy, now cursed by Turbo Granny. He asks Momo for help as he can't control himself, and suddenly, the granny takes full control, asking the aliens to let her gobble their bananas. The aliens, angry over a man interfering with their fun, tell him to leave immediately and transform into their real forms. Both Turbo Granny and the aliens start fighting for the bananas, while Momo is still tied up. The boy agrees to give his banana to the aliens, as he always wanted to meet them and never had any friends, but he demands that they let Momo go. However, the aliens aren't interested in a man and don't want to make friends with him, as he's violent and they prefer women. The aliens again try to arouse Momo with telepathy, but Momo remembers her grandma's words about being a spiritual medium and concentrating her chi. Suddenly, Momo unlocks her psychic powers, breaking the chains and the seat she was tied to. Even the aliens are surprised that their psychokinesis is being pushed away. They wonder if they overstimulated her brain waves, leading to her chakra opening. We see Momo flying in the air, realizing her grandma was a real spiritual medium. She then kicks the alien the same way she kicked her ex before, sending the alien flying. This causes the cloaking system of their UFO to fail, revealing that the moon was not a real moon but an alien UFO disguising itself as one. Momo then asks the occult boy to get out of there, but it turns out Turbo Granny has completely possessed him and attacks Momo. However, Momo uses her psychic powers to remove the possession of Turbo Granny, but it turns out she has taken control of the boy's banana and challenges Momo to come to her tunnel. With the UFO about to crash, Momo and the boy jump out as it crashes into the hospital building, destroying it completely and crashing to the ground. Momo says, "I'll believe in aliens as I was kidnapped and all," and the occult boy says, "I'll believe in ghosts too, since I got cursed by one." He then asks what they should do next. Momo says, "To break the curse, you need to defeat the Turbo Granny, as she is the reason for the curse." Occult boy started heading to the tunnel and offered Momo his clothes to wear, as it all happened because of him. Momo asks him why he doesn't want her help, as he would have if it wasn't for her just now. He asked her if it's okay for someone like her to help someone like him. Momo gets angry hearing this and told him that this is why he doesn't have any friends, because he keeps pushing people away. She gives his clothes back, and they both start leaving. He asked her to put some clothes on, as he's an awkward fellow and can't talk properly if she isn't dressed. Momo's heart suddenly starts pounding as he just quoted Ken Takakura's lines. Somehow, she kept her calm and asked for his name. He said, "Ken Takakura." Momo refuses to believe that his name could be Ken Takakura, and Okarun insists, "Believe it or not, this is my name." Frustrated, Momo covers her ears, causing the curse of Granny to grow stronger on Okarun. Transforming into Granny, Okarun then demands, "Feed me your banana." Annoyed, Momo uses her psychic powers to lift and throw Okarun far away, nullifying the curse. Momo declares they need to set some rules. "You will never utter this name again." She decides to call him Okarun since he is fond of the occult and insists that he will never say his real name in her presence. With no choice, Okarun agrees. Momo teases him, saying, "Looks like you like this new name. Your face is turning red." Momo tells Okarun to come home with her, joking that his current attire makes him look scarier than a ghost. When they reach Momo's house, she warns him that her grandmother is strict about boys and once nearly killed her ex-boyfriend. As Okarun steps inside the gate, he bursts into flames. Panicked, Momo uses her powers to lift him and toss him into a nearby river, saving him. She notices a talisman her grandmother placed on the gate to repel evil, which also affects cursed beings like Okarun. Apologizing, Momo removes the talisman and invites Okarun in, promising to toss him back into the river if he catches fire again. Hesitantly, Okarun steps through the gate, feeling an odd tingling but otherwise unharmed. Inside, Momo finds her grandmother isn't home and takes Okarun to her room, instructing him to wait outside as she changes clothes. However, as Okarun closes the door, his curse acts up, causing him to reopen it. Angry, Momo nullifies the curse, scolds him, and resumes changing. She also brings him clothes to make do for now. Momo then asks if his banana is truly missing, as Turbo Granny claimed to have stolen it. Embarrassed, Okarun checks and confirms it's gone. Laughing, Momo jokes that she wants to see for herself, but Okarun refuses, saying, "Whether it's there or not, I won't show you." Frustrated, Okarun blames Momo for daring him to enter the cursed cave in the first place. Momo counters that he came to her with his wild stories, prompting her challenge. Okarun admits he approached her because he always wanted a friend and couldn't miss the chance. However, he believes someone like him could never truly be friends with a girl like Momo. Apologizing, he promises to leave her alone once this mess is over. Momo berates him, "This is your problem. You assume too much and push people away. No wonder you don't have friends." She assures him she won't ignore him and that they'll have more occult discussions, bringing tears to Okarun's eyes. When she urges him to speak, he retorts, "You're so ugly, you insult people to their faces." Furious, Momo starts fighting with him. Just then the doorbell rings. Okarun assumes it's her grandmother, but Momo explains the bell has two chimes, one for humans and one for evil spirits. Since she removed the talisman, a ghost may have entered their home. Okarun panics, but Momo reassures him, planning to reattach the talisman to burn the spirit. Okarun protests, fearing he might burn too, and Momo suggests he step outside temporarily. However, they find the main gate sealed, black smoke filling the air, and walls trapping them inside. Momo starts bleeding from her nose, and Okarun struggle as a massive monster appears, accusing them of breaking a promise and demanding their banana. The two hide, and Okarun identifies the monster as a Flatwoods alien, known for its first sighting in the US and later in Japan's Yamanashi. Momo questions how an alien rang the ghost bell, to which Okarun explains that people who see spirits often perceive UFOs, hinting at a connection. They realize the alien is releasing toxic smoke that could kill them. Unable to use her psychic powers as they suppress Okarun's curse, Momo considers releasing his curse to fight. Initially hesitant, she relents, and Okarun transforms into his cursed form. The alien attacks, but Okarun's curse grants him agility, allowing him to counterattack. Momo notices the alien fights like a sumo wrestler and devises a plan to force its limbs to touch the ground. Okarun, with incredible speed, breaks one leg while Momo uses her powers to knock the alien down, eliminating one arm upon contact with the ground. However, the alien regenerates limbs and throws Momo against a wall, repeatedly attacking her. Okarun begs her to release the curse entirely, fearing for her life. Just as the alien almost kills her, Momo uses the deep hole in the wall to escape through the gate, places the talisman back, and incinerates the alien. Returning to the real world, the duo finally rests. However, Momo faints from exhaustion, causing Okarun's curse to resurface, fully transforming him into Turbo Granny. The scene shift, we see a TV program featuring a psychic named Santa Dodoria. She claims to reveal details about a celebrity's life just by looking at his face. For instance, she says the celebrity is 27 years old, married, has a child, and loves curry. However, all her statements turn out to be wrong because the celebrity reveals that he's only 20, single, and loves ramen. After the program ends, the manager wonders how the psychic could be so wrong. Even a child could tell by looking at the celebrity that he was 20 years old and unmarried. The psychic, meanwhile, gets into a taxi to head home. The driver recognizes her as Santa Dodoria from TV and asks if she truly has psychic powers. She tells him to stop the car, saying she needs to get out immediately. The driver assumes she's angry, but she warns him to leave immediately if he values his life. Meanwhile, Okarun had turned into Turbo Granny and was about to eat Momo's leg. Suddenly, a nail struck Turbo Granny, throwing her into the river. The attack was from the psychic woman, who is later revealed to be Momo's grandmother, Seiko. Seiko assumed her granddaughter had brought another hooligan home but soon realized it was a monster. Turbo Granny tried to attack Seiko from behind but got burned upon nearing her. Seiko had anticipated the attack and set a trap that ensnared Turbo Granny. A circular barrier surrounded Granny, which burned her if she tried to step out. Seiko explained that stepping beyond the line would kill Turbo Granny because the barrier outside was set to incinerate her. Seiko herself was protected by standing within a different barrier created by driving a nail into the circle. Turbo Granny mocked Seiko, saying she wouldn't remain trapped forever and would eventually kill her. Seiko responded that she didn't intend to trap her but to kill her. She began beating Turbo Granny with a bat and drew another circle around her with a pencil, further limiting her movement. Furious, Turbo Granny taunted Seiko, calling her a crazy old hag. Seiko retorted, "One old hag calling another crazy." That makes me mad. Granny warned that if she was burned, the boy Okarun would die too. Seiko declared that she would kill anyone who deceived her granddaughter, human or otherwise. She then moved the nail from outside to inside the circle, burning Turbo Granny to ash. Later, Momo woke up in her room and rushed downstairs to find her grandmother watching cartoons on TV. Seiko asked if she'd been to a haunted place. Momo explained it wasn't her but a friend who got cursed. Seiko laughed and continued watching TV. When Momo asked about the boy, saying it was necessary for her to stay with him, Seiko revealed she had killed the demon spirit. Shocked, Momo asked if the spirit wore glasses. Seiko teased Momo for not believing in spirits earlier and calling her a fake spirit medium. Momo apologized and asked where Okarun was. Seiko directed her to the shrine. Angry, Momo called her a crazy old woman and rushed to the shrine, worried about Okarun. She remembered how she had pushed him to enter the haunted tunnel. Upon opening the shrine's door, she found Okarun peacefully eating rice. Seeing Momo alive, Okarun was relieved, thinking she had killed him in his turbo form. Momo sighed in relief and sarcastically called him glasses. Seiko explained that Okarun was safe inside the shrine but would turn into the monster again if he stepped outside. Hearing that he might die had terrified Momo. When Seiko asked if she liked the boy, Momo denied it. Instead, she explained that Granny had stolen his banana, and until it was retrieved, the curse wouldn't be lifted. Momo also revealed she had unlocked psychic powers while trapped in a UFO, but Seiko dismissed the idea of UFOs. Momo retorted that she used to think the same until recently. Seiko explained that Turbo Granny was dangerous and had been a source of terror in the past. When Seiko first learned Granny was living in the tunnel, she tried to approach but couldn't because of the tunnel's strong spiritual power. Seiko detailed location-bound spirits who remain tied to specific places and are strongest within their domain. Turbo Granny had likely merged with such a spirit, making it impossible to defeat her in the tunnel. Seiko advised Momo to forget the boy and return to her normal life. Momo wondered what her idol, Ken Takakura, would do in her place. Inspired by his decisive nature, Momo decided to help Okarun. Seiko teased her for being in love, but Momo clarified she was thinking about the actor. Seiko suggested they play tag with Turbo Granny, exploiting her pride in her speed. If they could lure her out of the city, her spiritual territory, she would weaken enough to be defeated. Momo asked if they could set up a barrier outside the tunnel, but Seiko explained that talismans draw power from local deities, which wouldn't work beyond their city. Determined, Momo and Okarun began training. Momo had to enhance her psychic powers, while Okarun needed to build stamina. The next day, Seiko saw a news report proving she had been right about the celebrity from the TV show. Momo prepared tea for Okarun but realized his curse prevented him from being behind walls or doors without Momo nearby. As they continued preparing, Turbo Granny suddenly appeared, freezing Seiko and warning Momo to come to the tunnel or risk everyone around Okarun being killed. Before leaving, Seiko gave them protective clothing and bid them farewell. Momo vowed to beat Granny. On their way, Momo switched to modern clothes, ready for battle. Momo and Okarun set out to fight Turbo Granny. After some time, they reach the tunnel. Momo asks Okarun to go ahead, but he says, "Ladies first." Both enter the tunnel together, scared and urging each other to go forward. Momo asks, "What will we do once we find Turbo Granny? Punch her?" Okarun replies that they'll have to drive her out of Sono City to separate her from her location-bound spirit. That would weaken her enough for them to defeat her. Momo confidently states, "We defeated that huge alien, so we can handle her too. After all, she's just an old lady." Suddenly, they see a massive head of Granny in front of them. As they turn to run, they notice another head behind them. Turbo Granny had surrounded them on both sides and began approaching. Momo throws some baseball bats at her, but Granny devours them with her eyes. Okarun asks Momo to release his curse so he can fight. She complies, and Okarun transforms into his monstrous form. However, in this form, he pessimistically says things like, "I'm definitely going to die today." He charges at Granny but reverts to his human form suddenly. Momo realizes Okarun's aura has vanished, and Turbo Granny reveals that she returned his banana, removing his curse. Turbo Granny, now confident that they cannot use their curse powers, prepares to eat them. Both heads advance on them, but Momo remembers her grandmother's advice. Turbo Granny takes pride in her speed, so they must provoke her. Momo challenges her to a race, claiming, "If you can beat us in a race, you win." Intrigued, Granny accepts, saying she can eat them anytime and isn't in a hurry. She begins counting to 10 to give them a head start. Momo and Okarun run out of the tunnel. Okarun is impressed with Momo's quick thinking, but they soon hear Granny miscounting numbers and immediately reaching 10. She catches Momo with her many hands. She tells Okarun, her 10 minutes are over. Now it's your turn, and begins counting again. Okarun accuses her of cheating, but Granny retorts, you told me to count to 10, but you didn't specify how. She instantly counts to 10 and captures Okarun too. Desperate, Okarun bites Granny, causing her pain. Unable to shake him off, Granny realizes it's because of Okarun's clothes and rips them off, asking if he's related to some sorcerer. Granny advances to eat Momo, but Momo senses her aura and seals Granny into Okarun's body. Okarun regains control and frees Momo. Momo taunts Granny, saying they've captured her and will torture her. Just then, a giant crab spirit emerges, destroying everything. Momo explains that location-bound spirits often take on crab forms to cross the river Styx, though this one isn't very intelligent. Okarun transforms and flees with Momo on his back, but Granny shouts at them for using her powers without permission. Okarun jumps off a cliff, spins his legs like a helicopter to land safely, but quickly tires. They fall into the city, with the crab spirit chasing them. Momo notices human faces on the crab and deduces it's made of trapped souls. Unable to escape, they hide in a building, but the crab smashes its way in. It finally stops in a hot spring area. Momo uses hot water pipes to douse the crab, cooking it. They try to leave the city but encounter zombie-like humans possessed by spirits under Granny's control. Trapped, they decide to use Okarun's turbo mode again but end up falling back into the city. Granny emerges from Okarun's body, kicks them, and merges with the crab spirit. She dares them to escape, confident they can't leave her domain. Momo uses her powers to trap Granny on a railway track. Her grandmother Seiko waits outside Sono City with talismans on the tracks. As they cross the city limits, Turbo Granny and the crab spirit begin to exorcise. The spirits of many girls emerge from the crab, finally freed. At the station, Momo and Okarun place flowers in the tunnel where the spirits had been trapped. Seiko explains the tunnel was a crime scene where young girls were tortured and killed. Their spirits formed the location-bound spirit, and Turbo Granny tried to comfort these lost souls, though they should not harm the living. She emphasizes the need for the living and spirits to respect each other's realms. That evening, they celebrate by eating crab, though Okarun finds it unsettling. Seiko jokes about Okarun's banana, which he refuses to show, calling her crazy. As he leaves, they both say goodbye unconsciously. Okarun starts thinking that is this their last meeting, why did they say goodbye just then? Momo stops him and says, see you at school tomorrow, making Okarun happy. The next day, Okarun was scared to go to school, wondering what he would say to Momo when they met. Upon arriving, he noticed Momo standing at the school gate waiting for him. Okarun assumed she was waiting for someone else and tried to ignore her as he walked inside. However, Momo immediately approached him and asked why he was so late, revealing that she had been waiting for him. She started chatting about aliens until class began, and they both went to their respective classrooms. Okarun's classmates continued to bother him, but he no longer cared because he had a wonderful friend like Momo. Meanwhile, Momo was distracted in class, and when her friend tried to talk to her, Momo seemed lost. Her friends speculated that Momo might have met her ex-boyfriend the previous day, which was why she hadn't come to school. However, Momo was actually eager to talk to Okarun about aliens, just as Okarun wanted to discuss ghosts with her. Both were impatiently waiting for lunch break. As soon as the break started, they searched for each other in their respective classrooms but didn't find one another. Momo asked about Okarun in his class but used only his nickname, Okarun, not his full name, Ken Takakura, making it difficult for anyone to help her. Meanwhile, Okarun timidly asked about Momo, but no one could hear him clearly. Their search led them to different locations, with Okarun heading to the cafeteria and Momo going to the school store. Eventually, they gave up and sat on a bench, unknowingly close to each other. Both thought the other was ignoring them. Okarun believed Momo had realized how boring he was, while Momo thought Okarun was avoiding her because she was too clingy. Finally, as they got up to leave, they accidentally bumped into each other and accidentally kissed. Their misunderstanding was cleared, and they realized they had been searching for each other all along. However, Momo's friends saw them bump into each other and assumed they were kissing. Momo angrily denied this, calling Okarun a loser she would never kiss, and Okarun responded that he would never kiss a crazy girl like her. This led to an argument where they declared they would never talk again and stormed off. Later, Okarun regretted their fight and decided to apologize. While pondering this in the bathroom, he noticed that while his banana was intact, his grapes were missing. Meanwhile, rumors spread in Momo's class about her supposedly kissing a boy. Frustrated, Momo denied it. Okarun eventually found Momo and asked to talk privately, but Momo refused, telling her friends he wasn't her boyfriend and to stop spreading baseless rumors. Okarun, thinking Momo was embarrassed to talk to him in front of her friends, left dejectedly. This made Momo's friends feel bad, realizing she shouldn't have been so harsh. After school, Okarun accidentally bumped into a cute girl named Aira, who apologized and struck up a conversation, making Okarun blush. Aira's friendliness made him smile, which Momo noticed from far. Momo wondered who this girl was since Okarun said he never had friends before. As Aira left with her friend, she mockingly remarked that Okarun was probably fantasizing about her because a shy guy like him must have had never interacted with a cute girl before. Hearing this, Momo used her psychic powers to hit Aira on the head, knocking her out. Aira's friend was left wondering where the tub came from. Okarun started to leave, but Momo caught up with him and, acting friendly, suggested they walk home together. She complimented his glasses, saying they made him look more handsome, and subtly criticized stupid girls, referring to Aira. On the way, Momo apologized for getting angry earlier, saying she wasn't ashamed to be Okarun's friend. This made Okarun happy and both blushed. Suddenly, Okarun yelled that there was a problem. He asked Momo if they had defeated Turbo Granny, to which Momo confirmed they had, and that Okarun's curse was lifted. Okarun pointed out that while his banana had returned, his 2 grapes were missing. Momo burst into laughter and took him home to her grandmother, Seiko. Seiko inspected Okarun's soul and noticed something hidden inside. She instructed Momo to bring a doll and a bowl of water. Momo returned with a cat-like doll wrapped in a talisman. Seiko began whacking Okarun with a broom to perform an exorcism, noting that when she struck him earlier, his aura color had changed. Seiko said the entity's aura could be pulled out. Momo questioned this, and Seiko explained that something non-human was inside Okarun. After more hits, Momo managed to pull the aura out, but it disappeared immediately. They noticed the doll's talisman had burned, and suddenly, the doll came to life and ran away. Using her psychic powers, Momo tracked and captured it. The doll screamed threats, but Seiko revealed it was Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny explained that during their previous battle, she had entered Okarun's body to avoid death. She was hiding there, waiting for her powers to return, intending to kill them both. However, her consciousness had been transferred to the doll, leaving her powers behind in Okarun. Okarun unexpectedly transformed into Turbo Granny. Confused, Momo and Turbo Granny realized her powers were still within him. Seiko explained that Turbo Granny's mind had transferred to the doll, but her powers remained stuck in Okarun, creating this strange situation. Seiko beat the doll with a broom, causing Okarun to return to normal. Momo offered a deal. If Turbo Granny returned Okarun's family jewels, they would return her powers. Turbo Granny agreed but admitted she had misplaced them, shocking Momo and Okarun. Granny explains that those balls are covered with her spiritual energy, and they shine as brightly as golden eggs. On seeing them, people will immediately recognize them. Momo and Okarun went out at night to search for the balls but found nothing, prompting Turbo Granny to suggest that someone else might have picked them up. She mentions that these balls are filled with powerful life force, which attracts spirits and ghosts. They believe that if spirits collect enough items infused with life force, they might return to life. This is why evil spirits attack people to steal their life force. Momo remarks that if someone has taken the balls, they may never find them again, to which Turbo Granny nonchalantly replies that she doesn't care. Enraged, both Momo and Okarun start beating her up. Momo suggests they go back home and think of a different plan. At home, Seiko mentions that she'll reach out to some contacts to gather information about the balls. She also warns Okarun to be careful because he now possesses Turbo Granny's powers, which are dangerous and hard to control. The next day at school, some boys in Okarun's class start questioning him about Momo, saying she's cute and asking if he could introduce them to her. This leads Okarun to realize how much he values their friendship and even starts blushing at the thought of Momo's beauty. However, he quickly scolds himself, as Momo is just a friend, and thinking like this is wrong. One of the boys crudely asks how many times Okarun and Momo have done it, spreading rumors about her. Enraged, Okarun grabs the boy by the collar and demands to know who is spreading such false rumors. The boys are ready to fight, but in his anger, Okarun accidentally transforms into his Turbo Granny form. Okarun declares that Momo is not the kind of girl they are gossiping about and demands they stop spreading lies about her. The boys are terrified by his appearance and apologize. Okarun calms down, reverts to his normal form, and goes back to his seat. Suddenly, Turbo Granny emerges from his bag, shocking him. He quickly leaves the classroom with her, seeking a private place to talk. Okarun angrily asks what she was doing in his bag. Turbo Granny responds that Seiko told her she could go wherever she wanted since she no longer has any powers. Turbo tries to manipulate Okarun into letting her regain her powers by re-entering his body, promising she'll leave afterward. But Okarun refuses and demands the return of the balls instead. At that moment, Momo arrives, causing Okarun to blush and avoid looking at her. Embarrassed, he tries to leave, but Momo chases after him. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny roams around the school. Back in class, Momo wonders why Okarun is avoiding her, making her angry even though he's not her boyfriend. Her friend explains that Okarun had a fight with some boys because they were bad-mouthing Momo. This makes Momo think highly of him. Meanwhile, Aira, the self-proclaimed most beautiful girl in school, is seen greeting everyone warmly in the hallway, earning their admiration. Aira appears sweet and kind but secretly holds a grudge against Momo for accidentally dropping a utensil on her head. As revenge, Aira started spreading false rumors about Momo. Moreover, Aira had seen Momo's psychic hands and now believes Momo is a demon with evil powers. She pulls out a golden ball that mysteriously fell into her lap one night by a train bridge. Witnessing strange lights in the sky, Aira believes she's been chosen for a great mission, to defeat demons and save the world because of her beauty. At school, Aira's friend brings her items like Holy Bible and a cross, which Aira plans to use against Momo. However, her friends doubt her claims. Suddenly, Aira notices a strange woman in red outside the window, who her friends cannot see. Aira concludes that the woman must be spying on her for Momo. Later, during lunch, Momo and Okarun sit together on the roof, but Okarun still avoids looking at her. Turbo Granny mentions she's been searching for the golden balls at school and even saw a strange woman in red. Momo dismisses her claim, saying there's no way the balls would be in school. Okarun agrees, reasoning that if the balls look like gold, a human, not a ghost, might have taken them. Turbo Granny warns that if a human picks up a ball, it could awaken their spiritual powers, allowing them to see ghosts and making them vulnerable to attacks. Momo scolds her for not sharing this earlier and demands to meet the red-clothed woman. Meanwhile, Aira plots to confront Momo with her holy items. She leads Momo to an old building, where her friends ambush Momo and tie her hands. Aira, believing Momo is a demon, chants and attempts to exorcise her. Frustrated, Momo uses her psychic powers to throw Aira's friends away. When Aira pulls out the golden ball, Momo realizes it belongs to Okarun. Aira insists it's a divine gift for saving the world and ignores Momo's attempts to explain. Suddenly, the red-clothed ghost woman appears, claiming to be Aira's mother. Okarun transforms into his turbo form to save Aira but struggles against the ghost's agility. The ghost swallows Okarun whole, leaving Momo to fend for herself. Turbo Granny identifies the ghost as acrobatic Silky, a spirit known for her acrobatic skills. Silky turns on Momo, blaming her for corrupting Aira, and swallows her with Aira too. Left alone, Turbo Granny threatens Silky, but the ghost mocks her. But Momo used her brains and set fire to skyily swallowed hair using a lighter disguised as a cross. Silky was forced to spit everyone out, and as they come out Aira faints, and Okarun and Momo prepare for a counterattack. When Silky opens her eyes, Aira was lying unconscious in front of her. Silky starts saying, "You took my Aira away from me. Give her back." Saying this, she attacks them. They start running toward a warehouse with Aira, and Okarun also arrives in his Turbo Granny form. Okarun says there isn't much empty space in the warehouse, making it hard for him to run properly. Momo come up with an idea and tell him to keep running. Silky then uses her hair to attack and throws Momo far away. After that, she begins to chase Okarun with her hair as he keeps running in the warehouse, which is cluttered with a lot of stuff. Silky says, "In a place like this, you can't escape my acrobatics," and effortlessly catches up to Okarun, making him fall. She then tells Aira, "If you don't want to call me mommy, it's okay. I'll eat you instead, and we'll become one forever." Silky approaches Aira to eat her, but suddenly stops. Momo appears from above and reveals that Silky's hair is tangled all over the warehouse, which was part of her plan. She praises Okarun for running so well. Silky, now enraged, starts breaking the warehouse pillars with her kicks to free herself. Momo uses her power to hold Silky's legs and tells Okarun to attack her in turbo mode with full force and launch her into the sky. Okarun hesitates, saying he's good only at running and has never defeated a villain this way. Momo yells at him to stop talking and just kick her. Amidst their bickering, Silky frees her hair and attacks Momo. Okarun intervenes to save Momo, headbutting Silky with great force, sending her flying out of the warehouse. It seemed Silky was defeated. Momo, impressed by Okarun's power, says his full throttle is amazing, while Okarun is in pain, his entire body aching. Turbo Granny emerges from his bag, criticizing him for barely delivering an attack despite using her power. Momo asks what they should do about this ghost girl, suggesting they get Seiko to exorcise her. Turbo Granny tells them to leave her alone, saying she won't rise for a while or use her powers, having taken her attack. Turbo Granny searches Aira's clothes for the ball, and Momo, whose hands are still tied, asks Okarun to untie her. Okarun starts looking for scissors. Momo blames everything on Aira, wondering what relationship she has with the ghost girl. Turbo Granny finally finds the golden ball and gives it to Okarun. Momo teases him, saying the honor of his family is now in his hands. But Turbo Granny reveals that Aira is dead. Shocked, Momo and Okarun check her heartbeat and pulse, confirming her death. Turbo Granny explains that when a normal human is eaten by a ghost they die. Momo, with her spiritual powers, and Okarun, with Turbo Granny's powers, survived. Momo now asks Okarun to perform CPR while she massages Aira's heart with her power. Turbo Granny remarks that it's futile since the heart is just a piece of flesh, and massaging it won't help. Momo tells her to shut up and continue CPR, asking Granny to call an ambulance using her friend Mako's phone. Despite their efforts, nothing works. Just then, Silky appears and says she has a better way to revive Aira. She offers to give her aura, spirit energy to Aira. According to Silky, aura acts as a battery for living beings, and Aira's battery has run out. They can replace it with Silky's. Momo suspects Silky is lying and will eat Aira if given a chance. Silky tears her mouth apart and says she can't eat anyone anymore. If Momo still doesn't trust her, she can crush her head against a metal beam. Turbo Granny confirms Silky is telling the truth, saying they have no other option. Momo warns Silky that if she tries anything tricky, she'll crush her head. She instructs Okarun to keep an eye on Silky in turbo mode and be ready to attack. Momo asks how Silky will transfer her aura to Aira. Silky explains that Momo can use her power to connect their aura and transfer it. Momo does so, but as the transfer begins, she gets a flashback of Silky's life. Silky was once a living person, working in a hotel to earn money. She was very poor but deeply cared for her daughter, who loved dancing. Silky taught her acrobatics and even bought her a red dress. She worked tirelessly to provide for her daughter. One day, some people broke into her house and assaulted her. They threw her against a window, causing glass shards to pierce her body. Her daughter cried, but the intruders took her away. When Silky tried to stop them, they blinded one of her eyes and left with her daughter and money. Silky later regained consciousness and ran onto the streets searching for her daughter. She saw a car, possibly with the culprits, but couldn't stop it. Due to blood loss, she collapsed again. Later, she stood on a building rooftop, devastated, with no one left in her life. In memory of her daughter, she performed one last acrobatic dance and jumped off, ending her life. After death, Silky became a spirit, forgetting everything except that she had lost something precious. One day, a little girl, young Aira, mistook her for her mother. Aira's father arrived, revealing that Aira's mother had died when she was young. Seeing Aira, Silky believed she was her daughter and vowed to protect her from all harm. Suddenly, Aira regains consciousness with tears in her eyes. Feeling sorry for Silky after learning her backstory, Momo prevents Okarun from attacking her. Silky apologizes to Aira for hurting her, saying she lost control of her emotions and became a monster. As her body disintegrates into ashes, Momo asks Turbo Granny why this is happening. Turbo explains that without her aura, Silky will cease to exist, leaving no trace in the world. Momo feels sorry and asks if there's a way to give Silky's soul peace. Turbo says it's Silky's choice, no one else can decide. As Silky dies, she remembers her daughter and wishes she could have done more for her. Aira hugs Silky, calling her mommy and expressing her love, praying for peace for both Silky and her daughter. Silky's soul finally finds peace and fades away, possibly reuniting with her daughter in the afterlife. After this, everyone goes to Momo's house and begins having dinner. Okarun notices that Momo and Aira are not speaking to each other. Perhaps Aira is still upset with Momo for dropping a utensil on her head. Momo acknowledges her mistake, admitting she may have overdone it, and apologizes to Aira for it. However, Momo wants Aira to apologize to Okarun as well for mocking him, so things would be even. Aira then says she doesn't consider Momo her enemy for dropping a utensil on her head but because she believes Momo is a dangerous demon. Hearing this, Momo gets angry and firmly tells Aira that she is not a demon. Aira then asks about Okarun, pointing out how he looked like a demon during the fight. She also questions how Momo's grandmother could be so youthful, hinting that they both must be demons, with Momo being their boss and planning to conquer the world. This enrages Momo further, leading to an argument between the two. After some heated words, Aira declares she will end Momo one day, directly challenging Momo, and Seiko teasingly supported Aira. Before leaving, Aira asks Okarun why, despite being a demon, he saved her multiple times. Momo again denies being a demon, but Aira doesn't trust her words. Okarun tells Aira that one doesn't need a reason to help someone in trouble. Hearing this, Aira is surprised and begins to believe that there's still some humanity left in Okarun. She blushes and leaves, saying she will free him from Momo's grip someday. This leaves Momo upset. While running, Aira thinks about how she's human and Okarun is a demon, so there shouldn't be any relationship between them, and blushes. Afterward, Turbo Granny begins restoring Okarun's ball to its rightful place. Turbo Granny and Seiko play a baseball game. Turbo Granny throws the golden ball with force, and Seiko tries to hit it with her bat but misses. The ball hits Okarun directly, and he gets his ball back, making everyone happy. The next day at school, Momo and Okarun discuss where the second ball could be. Okarun says sorry for not being available during lunch, which makes Momo suspicious about something he might be hiding. Momo suggests meeting after school, but Okarun declines, saying he has other work. Momo agrees reluctantly and goes to have lunch with her friends. However, Momo suspects Okarun is hiding something. Her friend jokingly asks if Okarun might have another girl. Momo dismisses it, saying no girl would fall for Okarun, but then starts thinking about Aira. Momo, on her way to get a cold drink, wonders why she feels so strange and why she wants to meet Okarun. She decides not to disturb him, thinking he must be preparing his report. However, she is shocked when she sees Okarun behind the school lying on top of Aira. Actually, Okarun had come behind the school to train and become stronger so Momo wouldn't have to protect him in their next fight. Aira shows up, revealing she has started liking Okarun. She tries to kiss him, but Okarun pushes her away, explaining that confessing feelings doesn't mean kissing someone. Aira, having read about this in a book and seen it in a video, assumed it to be the right way. Okarun explains it's not, and Aira, despite being popular, doesn't understand romance. She tries to kiss him again, but Okarun stops her, leading to a struggle where Aira pulls Okarun on top of her. At that moment, Momo sees them, dropping her drink in shock and leaving in disappointment. Okarun runs after her, trying to explain, but Momo refuses to listen. She's furious because Okarun had lied about preparing a report while he was making out with Aira. Momo ignores him and goes back to her class. Throughout the class, Momo keeps thinking about Okarun, acting strangely, making her friends believe she is possessed. Meanwhile, Okarun decides he must stop lying and focus on becoming stronger to surprise Momo. Suddenly, he notices his classroom flooding, and all his classmates have vanished. Hearing a voice, Okarun heads to the hall where Aira is. She suspects Momo would also be in same strange condition. Okarun searches for Momo but finds her classroom empty. He starts feeling a sense of déjà vu, recalling a similar situation when an alien trapped them in darkness at Momo's house. After defeating that alien, things return to normal. Aira is shocked to hear about aliens and asks what they want. Okarun explains they might be collecting human reproductive organs. Just then, a crab-headed alien with boxing gloves appears and attacks them. Okarun transforms into Turbo Granny mode to save Aira but suddenly feels dizzy and reverts to his original form. This was the work of the Serpo aliens, who had come for revenge, as seen in the first episode. They neutralize Okarun's powers, explaining they adjusted the environment to trap only high-spirituality beings like them. One alien grabs Aira and reveals their plan to experiment on Okarun and transfer his powers to themselves. Okarun tries to explain his powers were borrowed and that he is weaker than an average person. The aliens ignore him and begin tearing off his clothes, preparing to operate. As Okarun cries out in protest, Aira awakens acrobatic Silky's powers within her and transforms, shocking the aliens. Aira again starts feeling that she has been chosen by the heavens. The Serpo aliens attempt to cut Okarun's banana, but Aira transformed into acrobatic Silky and kicks the aliens, saving Okarun. However, Okarun is now completely without cloths, which embarrasses Aira, and she says, "We aren't even married yet, so I can't see you like this." Only one Serpo alien is left, and it tells Aira that she also has superpowers, which is why she was able to enter their domain. It declares that they will take her banana as well. The alien then orders the boxing alien to attack them. Aira fights the boxing alien while Okarun hides in a classroom. The boxing alien, singing while fighting Aira, ends up in a position where Aira directly attacks the Serpo alien. However, the Serpo alien uses psychokinesis to throw Aira away. In doing so, it also inadvertently hits the boxing alien. Frustrated, the boxing alien tells the Serpo alien not to include it in their attacks. The Serpo alien retorts, "You're just a mercenary, and there are plenty more like you." The boxing alien then launches a strong attack on Aira, who dodges its punches. Meanwhile, Okarun searches the classroom lockers for clothes. The boxing alien delivers a jet punch that breaks the wall and hits Okarun. Aira praises the punch's power but mocks that it's useless if it misses its target. As Aira fights back, she kicks the boxing alien so hard that its head gets stuck in the ceiling. Aira then attacks the Serpo alien, but it captures her using its powers, causing her to revert to her normal form. The Serpo alien mocks Aira, enjoying the revelation that there are multiple superpowered individuals in one place. Aira notices that 2 other Serpo aliens have also revived and taken their original forms. They acknowledge Aira's speed but declare she isn't powerful enough. Though it wasn't part of their initial plan, they decide to take Aira's banana organ as well. Aira refuses to back down, asserting that she has been chosen by the heavens. Suddenly, the boxing alien lands a powerful punch on Aira's stomach, sending her crashing through a wall into a classroom. Okarun, still naked, steps out to save her and transforms into Turbo Granny mode. However, the aliens use psychokinesis to revert him to normal, stating they will take both bananas together. The Serpo aliens explain that when the 3 of them combine their powers, they can create an awesome zone, a space where not only transformations but even standing is impossible. However, they cannot enter this zone themselves, which is why they brought the boxing alien to weaken their opponents. The boxing alien lands a punch on Okarun's head, worrying Aira. But suddenly, Okarun blocks the punch, transforms back into Turbo Granny, and throws the alien far away. The Serpo aliens are shocked, unable to understand how Okarun broke out of the awesome zone. It is revealed that Momo has arrived, canceling the awesome zone with her powers. The aliens are stunned as Momo declares she hasn't forgotten their faces. The aliens had hired a Godzilla-like creature to keep Momo busy while they tried to cut Okarun's banana and then deal with her. Seeing Momo, Okarun is overjoyed, but Momo calls him a pervert upon noticing his nakedness. Okarun and Aira transform into their ghostly forms. Aira tells Momo she'll assist in the fight but asserts that Okarun, Ken Takakura, belongs only to her. Hearing Okarun's full name, Momo faints, causing both Okarun and Aira to revert to their normal forms. As the aliens attempt to take advantage of the situation, they kick the boxing alien awake, threatening to cut its payment if it doesn't perform well. The alien is exhausted, but the Serpo alien injects it with a power booster, enabling it to fight for 24 hours. Now, the boxing alien attacks Okarun and Aira with shockwaves, singing a Japanese-style song. Momo uses her powers again, neutralizing the Serpo alien's psychokinesis, and orders the boxing alien to target her instead. Aira intercepts and attacks the alien, but it counters with an uppercut, sending her crashing into the ceiling. The alien's punches were so fast that Momo couldn't even see them. As it goes after Aira again, Okarun blocks the attack, using his speed to protect her. Together, Okarun and Aira begin fighting the alien. Momo comments that they seem too close, making them easier targets. Aira teases Momo, asking if she's jealous. Okarun delivers a dramatic line, causing Momo to faint again. Frustrated, Okarun and Aira scold her for being distracted. Meanwhile, the Serpo aliens scold the boxing alien for being ineffective and cut its payment by 60%, upsetting it. Suddenly, green water fills the area, submerging everything, including the school walls and ceiling. Momo notices a Godzilla-like creature, identified as Nessie, swimming in the water. The Serpo aliens argue with Nessie, upset that it failed to stop Momo and announcing a 60% cut in its payment too. Enraged, Nessie attacks one of the Serpo aliens, splitting it in half. Okarun and Aira are terrified, realizing that if Nessie could do this to the aliens, they stand no chance. While trying to escape, the boxing alien punches Aira underwater. Its punches become even more powerful, akin to the mantis shrimp's ability. However, the boxing alien realizes it can't breathe underwater and quickly surfaces. Momo devises a plan to use Okarun as a motorboat by pushing him forward with her powers. Riding on Okarun's back, they escape and reach the sealing water to rescue Aira. Momo extracts water from Aira, reviving her. Momo asks Aira to remove her clothes to improve swimming speed. Initially resistant, Aira agrees reluctantly. Meanwhile, the boxing alien fears another pay cut after seeing a Serpo alien decapitated by Nessie. As the final Serpo alien flees, it complains about the incompetence of its hired help. It acknowledges Nessie's incredible attack power but criticizes its foolishness for attacking everything in sight. The Serpo alien decides to merge with the boxing alien and Nessie, forming a powerful creature. The hybrid shoots lasers at Okarun, Aira, and Momo. Realizing the creature requires water for its laser attack, Aira grabs its neck but is stopped by the Serpo alien. Okarun strategizes and cuts the hybrid creature in half, returning everything to normal. Back at school, Okarun and Momo lie in hallway hugging each other, still naked, are laughed at by their classmates. Embarrassed, they run away, with Aira chasing after them. The students mockingly ask why they were naked. The entire school sees them in this state. Afterward, the three of them run to the infirmary and change into their sports uniforms. The school nurse asks them why they were naked and whether someone was bullying them and forced them to remove their clothes. They deny it, but the nurse says there's no need to hide anything from her because she hates bullying. At that moment, a staff member enters, saying there's a call for her from the teacher's office. Annoyed, the nurse hits him on the head, scolding him for entering without knocking. She starts punishing him and leaves. Momo begins worrying about how everyone saw them in such an embarrassing situation. Aira, crying, wonders what will happen to her popular and innocent image. Momo curses the aliens for targeting them. Okarun explains that this time, the aliens came for him because they wanted Turbo Granny's powers. Momo then asks Aira how she used the acrobatic Silky's powers. Aira reveals that her powers awakened during the fight, as she is chosen by heavens for her beauty. Momo realizes that the acrobatic Silky's powers must have passed by her aura to Aira, granting her those powers. Hearing this, Okarun says that now the aliens will target Aira as well. Aira blushes, thinking about how much Okarun cares for her. Okarun continues, saying they were saved from the aliens because they have yokai, ghost, powers, but as long as they have these powers, the aliens will keep attacking them. Momo wonders why the aliens don't directly target the ghosts if they need their powers. Okarun figures it out. Even with advanced technology, the aliens haven't conquered Earth because it's home to dangerous ghosts and spirits. These stories are told worldwide, suggesting that ghosts protect the planet from alien invasions. Despite their advanced technology, the aliens cannot defeat the yokai. That's why they target people like Okarun to study them and develop technology to defeat the yokai. Okarun even suspects the aliens might have taken his second golden ball. Momo and Aira are more concerned about how to explain themselves to the school. Aira suggests blaming Momo for forcing them to remove their clothes, and try to get Okarun to go along with this story. Momo doesn't mind taking the blame. Just then, Aira's two friends show up, already suspecting Momo of being behind everything. They take Aira away with them. Momo asks Okarun what he and Aira were doing during lunch. Okarun explains everything, including Aira's attempt to kiss him, which led to them falling and Momo seeing them. Momo questions what he was doing there, to which Okarun replies that he was working out because he wants to become strong. When Momo asks why he hid this from her, Okarun admits he thought he'd seem cooler to her if he got strong without her knowing. Momo teases him, asking why he wants to impress her. Okarun stammers that it's because he's a man and leaves before saying more, insisting he won't blame Momo. Just as Momo is about to respond, her friends show up and ask why they were naked. Momo says they wouldn't understand even if she explained. One of her friends concludes that Momo, Aira, and Okarun are in a love triangle and that Momo was trying to learn punches from Shrimp to defeat Aira. Meanwhile, Aira's classmates sympathize with her, assuming Momo was jealous of her beauty. They plan to spread rumors about Momo to teach her a lesson. Hearing this, Aira feels bad and reveals the truth. She started the false rumor about Momo. Her classmates are shocked, and Aira leaves, regretting that she ruined her popularity. Momo finds Aira sitting alone and realizes she didn't speak ill of her. Suddenly, the crab-headed alien appears, oozing white liquid. He mentions he can't go home like this and needs money to support his family. Aira transforms into her acrobatic Silky form, and Momo prepares to fight, but the alien collapses and faints, murmuring the name Cheeky Chita. It turns out Cheeky Chita is his son. Later, the alien wakes up at Momo's house, where her grandmother, Seiko, doesn't believe he's an alien. She thinks he's just a sea monster. The crab alien explains his plight, how his home planet is war zone and his son is ill, and he needs money for blood transfusions every week. His wife died from the same illness, and he's been forced to do illegal work. Okarun offers to give his banana organ to Serpo aliens to help him, but Momo argues that money won't solve the problem. They then discover the alien's blood is similar to cow's milk. Seiko suggests he take a cow with him for a sustainable blood supply. Grateful, the alien promises to repay their kindness. In the end, Seiko buys him a cow, and he flies away in his UFO with his cow. Despite all this, Seiko still refuses to believe he was an alien. Momo, Aira, and Okarun convince Seiko to buy them new uniforms. However, Seiko agrees to buy Momo's uniform only if she imitates Japanese actor Hiroshi Abe. As Momo performs, the doorbell rings. A boy named Gigi appears, surprising Momo. Seiko introduces him as Momo's childhood friend and first love, shocking Okarun. The episode ends here. Hearing this, Okarun becomes tense, thinking that he looks so cool, and if Momo likes him, there must be something special about him. Soon after, Gigi starts behaving funny, making it clear that he's not a serious type but rather very playful and funny. Granny welcomes Gigi into the house, while Momo angrily asks, "What is going on here?" Granny reveals that from now on he will be staying with them in the house. This enrages Momo, who begins yelling, and Okarun grows even more uneasy upon hearing this. Meanwhile, Aira suspects that Gigi might be a new demon, thinking that Momo is gathering army to help her destroy the world. She threatens Momo, saying, "Once the alien problem is resolved, I'll come after you." Aira storms off, determined to form her own group to fight demons. Later, Okarun also decides to leave. Momo stops him, gesturing, "See you tomorrow." Reassured, Okarun walks away. During dinner, Momo questions Granny about why Gigi is staying with them. Gigi, unaware of the situation, compliments the food, saying, "Auntie, you've made an amazing meal." He doesn't realize that Granny is Momo's grandmother, not her aunt. He keeps praising Granny, who humorously calls him a genius. Granny explains that both of Gigi's parents are hospitalized, so he will be staying with them. While washing the dishes, Momo reflects, "We weren't even proper friends in childhood. In fact, Gigi is the same boy who used to tease me, the one mentioned in the first episode." Gigi apologizes for making fun of her back then and reveals, "I can see ghosts now." Hearing this, Momo asks, "Did you also pick up a golden ball or something?" But Gigi has no idea about the golden ball. He explains, "When I was in middle school, my family moved to a mountain area. I loved the place and our house there was huge, but I always felt something strange there." Gigi continues, "I told my parents about it, but they never believed me. I started lying to myself, pretending I hadn't seen anything. But one day, a ghost appeared right in front of me. From that day on, the ghost started showing up every day. After that, Gigi's parents also fell ill. Desperate, Gigi called in some famous spirit mediums to get rid of the ghost, but out of the 5 who came, 3 of them committed suicide. Even the most skilled mediums failed and told Gigi, "Seiko is your last hope." Meanwhile, Granny was casually watching cartoons with Turbo Granny. Momo finally understood everything and said, "It's a good thing Gigi came here." Gigi apologized once again for teasing Momo during their childhood, and Momo forgave him, saying, "Don't worry about the ghost. My granny will kick it away." Hearing this, Gigi was shocked to realize that Granny wasn't Momo's aunt but her grandmother. Granny then said, "I'm not doing anything. I already told you my powers only work within this city, so Momo will have to handle this." Granny added, "If Momo does this job, I'll get her as many uniforms as she wants." The next day, Gigi joined Momo's school. The teacher introduced him to the class, saying, "Gigi's parents are in the hospital, and he's very sad, so we should help him." But Gigi was busy flirting with girls and asking for their numbers. Gigi charmed everyone in the class, even Momo's 2 friends. He even announced to the class, "Momo and I live together." This led everyone to assume they were in a relationship. Embarrassed, Momo covered Gigi's mouth and dragged him out of the classroom. Meanwhile, poor Okarun thought, what if Momo starts liking him again? If they start dating, she won't even look at me, let alone listen to my stupid alien stories. Lost in thoughts, Okarun decided to work out behind the school during lunch break to distract himself. Just then, Momo arrived at the spot. Seeing her, Okarun quickly jumped into the bushes. Momo said, "I'm here to have lunch and to keep an eye on you so you don't start acting weird with Aira again." She asked Okarun if he would like to eat with her, but Okarun awkwardly responded that he was working out with both hands. Momo smiled and said, "Then I'll feed you with my hands." Hearing this, Okarun's heart started racing and he got flustered. But just then, Gigi showed up, carrying Momo's favorite drink. Seeing it, Momo became very happy. Watching them together made Okarun jealous again. He started to walk away, thinking, if Momo's happy with him, I should step aside. It's what's best for both of us. Suddenly, the mannequin standing in the science lab came to life and started running toward Okarun. He ran back to Momo for safety, but the mannequin ignored him, charging straight past while yelling, "No one can stop me." Momo tried to stop it using her powers, but Gigi had no idea what was going on. He jumped forward and tackled Momo to the ground as the mannequin jumped over them. Momo noticed a golden ball under it and realized this must be the second golden ball. However, Gigi refused to let go of Momo. Despite this, she used her powers to grab the mannequin, but it dragged both her and Gigi along as it kept running. Okarun was more worried about the fact that Gigi was holding on to Momo. The mannequin burst out of the school and kept running. Okarun transformed into Turbo Granny form and quickly caught up to the mannequin. Momo and Gigi, still being dragged along, were about to crash into a bus, but Okarun saved them just in time. He then carried Momo and Gigi on his back, running after the mannequin. Gigi screamed, "This monster has captured us." Momo explained, "He's the glasses guy." Momo grabbed hold of the mannequin again and tried to pull it toward her with all her strength, but the mannequin refused to give up. It split its body into several pieces, causing Momo to lose her grip. The mannequin reassembled itself from the scattered pieces and ran off again, leaving the group unable to follow it. Afterward, Okarun reverted to his normal form, which shocked Gigi. Okarun asked, "What do we do now? We don't even know where it went." Just then, Momo revealed she was holding something in her hand and punched it. They heard the mannequin screaming in pain. Following the sound, they arrived at a scrapyard, where they found the mannequin. Okarun asked Momo how she knew it would be there. Momo explained, "When it split into pieces, I grabbed its heart. That's what I've been punching to make it scream." Momo then spoke to the mannequin, "We don't want to hurt you. We just want to see your golden ball, which might belong to our friend, Okarun." Suddenly, they heard a girl's voice coming from within the scrap heap, calling out to someone named Taro, mannequin's name. Taro began searching through the scrap and eventually pulled out a female doll named Hana. Hana asked Taro, "Why did you come here and put yourself in danger?" Taro replied, "Because I love you. My entire life changed after I met you. My world used to be black and white, but now it's colorful." Hana responded, "I'm old and broken. That's why I was thrown away. You should go back before you're discarded too." Taro said, "I don't care. If I don't do something now, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I want to stay with you forever." Hearing Taro's words, Okarun began to understand his own feelings. He realized that he liked Momo and decided he wouldn't give up on her. Now, Momo, Okarun and Gigi takes Hana to Seiko's house and requests Seiko to let the doll stay with her. Seiko responds, saying, "Well, already this useless cat also lives in this house." Hearing this, Turbo Granny says, "Don't compare me to this doll. It probably doesn't even eat." Seiko then asks about Taro, to which Momo explains that he went back to their chemistry lab and is now standing there. He said that as long as Hana is okay, he can stay there as a model, but he will come to meet Hana every night. The three of them now plead in front of Seiko, and Seiko finally agrees. She then asks about Taro's golden ball. Momo replies that what she saw was just a Christmas ball. Seiko then says that it's time to eat and asks Momo and Okarun to stay for the meal. Afterward, Gigi says that Momo has amazing powers. Now he understands why Seiko asked Momo to banish the ghost from her house, and he also thinks Okarun's transformation was great. He wishes he had such powers. Anyway, Momo is setting the dinner table and Gigi helps her. He notices some dirt in Momo's hair and removes it. Momo thanks him, and seeing them together, Okarun feels uneasy. He remembers Taro's words that the one he loves will never let him go and that he will do anything to win her over, or else he will regret it forever. Now, Okarun decides that he will do everything for Momo and will not step back. He jumps between them and says, "Momo, you have dirt on you." After that, Okarun starts dancing by the table, hoping Momo will find him funny like Gigi. But Gigi joins him, and both start dancing wildly. Later, Seiko tells Momo that she needs to go to Gigi's house this weekend, so she should pack her underwear. Momo is embarrassed and thinks, why did Seiko have to say it like that? Okarun asks why Momo is going to Gigi's house, and Momo replies that Gigi's house is haunted, and she is going there to exorcise the ghost, which is why they came to her house. Okarun gets upset, asking if Momo is thinking of going alone with Gigi. Momo says no, she was planning to ask Okarun to come along as well. Hearing this, Okarun becomes excited and says, "Let's go quickly and banish the ghost from Gigi's house so he can go back to living there." Meanwhile, at midnight, we see a group of kids in the school, planning to play Ouija board game. Suddenly, they hear someone running away. It was Taro, going to meet Hana. Upon seeing him, everyone gets scared, and Taro breaks the window to escape. He then catches a train to Seiko's town but has an accident with a truck, causing his body to be shattered into pieces. Hana and Momo had been waiting for him, and it was already 4 a.m. Momo throws a blanket over Hana and tells her that she's sure that Taro will come soon. A little while later, Taro arrives, and Momo wakes up to thank him for waiting with Hana. Taro promises to come on time from the next day. Meanwhile, Gigi is sitting in his room, scared and unable to sleep because the ghost's face keeps appearing in front of him. The next day, the three of them head to Gigi's house, and on the train, they play cards, with Okarun being very bad at it. Gigi brings candies for everyone, and he and Momo start talking about their childhood. Okarun feels jealous again and starts thinking about his second ball. Then they get off the train and catch a bus. Momo asks Okarun what happened to him, to which Okarun suddenly blurts out, "My ball." Gigi asks if it's an inside joke, why they keep talking about Okarun's balls. Momo replies that it's a long story. Gigi starts joking again, and Momo laughs at him. Okan thinks he needs to do something to catch Momo's attention. He shouts that he wants to tell them about the Sushinoko, a creature that looks like a snake. Okan explains that Sushinokos are real and that until 100 years ago, people didn't believe in gorillas either. But now, Sushinokos will become as famous as gorillas. Hearing this, Gigi says that he heard a story about a big snake from his village, where there's a shrine older than 200 years dedicated to a snake called the Sushinoko Shrine. Momo expresses her interest in seeing the shrine. Okan mentions there is also a shrine for the mummified kappa, and it's common to have such shrines. Gigi becomes interested in Okan's book, and they start debating. Okan then realizes that it's the first time he's been talking with someone other than Momo for this long. He couldn't share these things with anyone before, but he's really enjoying talking to Gigi. Gigi tells Okan that he's such a great friend. Hearing this, Okan is surprised. Gigi says that since Okan is Momo's friend, he's also his friend. Okan admits he's a shy guy, and Momo gets upset hearing him say this. Okan thinks Gigi is such a nice guy that he can't even hate him. Soon, they arrive at Gigi's village, and Momo notices many hot springs there. Gigi tells them that his dad works on volcano research, which is why they live here. Momo asks if the volcano is going to erupt, and Gigi says it erupted 200 years ago and has been calm ever since. They climb many stairs to reach Gigi's house, and while Gigi runs up, Okarun and Momo struggle. After seeing Gigi's house, Momo says she doesn't sense any evil presence and decides to rest a bit. Just then, Okarun notices someone in the forest but doesn't pay much attention and goes inside. Meanwhile, some people in the forest were watching them. After inspecting the house, Momo says she doesn't feel any ghosts here. Gigi explains that other spirit mediums had said there was an evil shadow in the house. Momo thinks the ghost might be hiding and will come out at night. If the ghost is weak, she won't sense it, making it easier to defeat. This is good news because Momo can easily defeat the ghost. Hearing this, Gigi becomes happy and goes to get juice for Momo. Momo asks Okan to sit beside her, thinking the ghost will appear at night, so they should relax for now. When Okarun sits down, Momo says she's going to the hot spring. Okarun asks what they'll do if the ghost appears, and Momo says she'll return before evening. After Momo leaves, Okarun and Gigi start playing football. Okarun isn't good at it, but he thinks that if he learns a trick, he can impress Momo. Suddenly, Gigi asks Okarun if he likes Momo, and Okarun is surprised. Meanwhile, Momo, sitting in the hot spring, thinks she's glad she left and that Okarun and Gigi will become good friends since Okarun didn't have any friends. Okarun then tells Gigi that Momo is his first friend, and he respects her a lot. Gigi says he loves Momo's face and personality. Hearing this, Okarun also admits that he likes Momo. They start arguing over who loves her more. Gigi says he's Momo's childhood friend, so he wins. Okarun then remembers the time he accidentally kissed Momo, and he starts getting embarrassed saying he wins without explaining it to Gigi. Meanwhile, Momo is about to get out of the hot spring when 5 men enter and start making inappropriate comments toward her. Okarun and Gigi are exhausted after fighting. Gigi extends his hand to Okarun as a sign of friendship, but as soon as Okarun gives him his hand, Gigi grabs it and says that now Okarun will have to surrender. Suddenly, Okarun notices another wall in Gigi's house. Gigi also suspects that there's an extra wall in his house and believes there must be a secret room behind it. Meanwhile, at the spring, those men ask Momo if she came here alone, as it's a place for both men and women to bathe. Momo sees an old sign but can't read what's written on it. The men get into the water, and Momo feels dizzy. She tries to leave but the men block her way. Gigi, meanwhile, grabs a hammer and breaks the wall, revealing a secret room filled with thousands of talismans. This episode and season 1 end here. So, what's the secret of Gigi's house? What ghost is in it? Who are the people who attacked Momo? We will find out in the next season.